Hey everyone, it's Time Trial Reviews here, and today I'm talking about The Dark Knight Rises. I actually saw this back on Sunday, except I waited until now to make a review because I had two reviews which I uploaded quite late actually, which were Ted and Snow White and the Huntsman. I can't be bothered explaining why, but basically someone took a while to send me videos. But yeah, this is Dark Knight Rises, and it is the final chapter in a three-part trilogy. I assume they're not making any more. They're probably going to reboot it if they are going to make some more. But I assume it is the final chapter in the trilogy by Christopher Nolan, which is Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises. If you've been living under a rock, just quickly, Batman Begins. At first, when I first watched it, I didn't really like it at all. I actually decided to watch it back on Monday when I had nothing better to do. After I saw The Dark Knight Rises, and it isn't as bad as when I first. There's really nothing I can really criticize about Batman Begins. Really, there's nothing really that I can say that it's doing bad or anything like that. It's a good movie. I just really can't get into too much of just everything, like the atmosphere. I just don't really care for, like the really gloomy atmosphere. I just really don't care for, and I just don't really care for Batman. I don't really care for the villain. Like, everything's not that bad. It's just that it doesn't really get me involved in the story, the movie at all, and it's just kind of forgettable in my opinion. It's not, as I said, it's not a bad movie. It doesn't do anything really wrong. I just can't remember it after it's done. It doesn't affect me emotionally or anything like that. But The Dark Knight is a bit different because it has an extremely memorable villain. The Joker, just he was, even though I hadn't seen The Dark Knight until 2010, I even quoted the Joker a lot in 2008 when the movie came out, even though I hadn't seen the movie. And when I did finally see the movie, I thought it was really good, especially the Joker character, as I said. And I like Two-Face, even though a lot of people didn't. And I just thought it was a genuinely good movie, and it was around my 50th best favorite movie for a bit there. But I did like The Dark Knight. I can't say it's one of my favorite films of all time or anything like that, like a lot of other people, but I did really like it. The Dark Knight Rises. Now, let me just say that apart from those movies, I'm not really a huge Batman fan. I did like some of the, like if you look at the ones from like the 80s, I pretty much liked it in the reverse order of everyone else, except I don't know, like Batman and Robin, I find hilariously campy, which I actually like it a lot more than pretty much everyone else does. Batman Returns, I like as well. I don't really think it's dark. I just think it's a bit campy, and I kind of like the camp aspect of that too. Batman Forever, is okay. I didn't really mind it. I love Jim Carrey in it. And the original Batman, I can't really say I like it nearly as much as everyone else. I just don't find too much appeal to it, really. Like, I mean, Jack Nicholson's not bad, but Batman and Robin, I love George Clooney and I love Mr. Freeze, and it's just hilariously campy, and I love it because everyone else hates it. So that would just give you a big picture of like what I think about just the Batman in general, and what it should be. The 1966 version, that made me fall asleep, but I'm not going to get into that. So this is The Dark Knight Rises, and this is definitely the darkest and the most serious of the Batman movies. Well, yes, I would call it the most dark and the most serious. Definitely the most serious. Even the Batman Begins, the villain was kind of campy in a way. I can't remember what the actor's name is. He's that guy that looks like this guy I know in real life. What's his name? His name is Dr. Crane in the movie, but I forgot what the actor's name is. Shit, no, Dr. Crane. I get a whole lot of Frasier things. The hell's his name? Or whatever. He's played by that guy from like 28 Days Later. You probably know his name. All right, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, he's kind of I kind of like him a bit. But this movie, like, he kind of is a bit campy, that villain. This movie is just really serious. It just takes absolutely everything seriously. the villain, okay, the villain in the movie is made out to be a bit campy. He has a few like one-liners in there, and he sounds like Sean Connery, and he has this big booming voice. So he's not entirely played for complete seriousness. He is played for a bit of laughs, but in no way as much like the Joker in the Dark Knight. Sure, the Joker can be definitely intimidating in the Dark Knight, but he is such a great character of just like how hilarious he is, and they kind of try to do it in this one. He makes a whole lot of like lines and it is kind of funny how his voice really doesn't match what he looks like you kind of can't really imagine him at times. He can, but at times you can't really imagine him saying what he's actually saying, and other people had trouble trying to hear his voice, but I really didn't have a problem with that. I could hear him most of the time, but regardless, a lot of people have. It's been very mixed, actually, The Dark Knight Rises. A lot of critics have really liked it, but a lot of internet critics that I watch really haven't liked it, including the friend that I went to see, Ted, and the Amazing Spider-Man didn't like it either. Nintendo 64, go check him out down there. They really didn't like it, but I kind of liked it. And I really do not know why, to be honest. I mean, it's just a bit of everything, really. Like, I did like the dark atmosphere. It wasn't too gloomy like Batman Begins. Well, it wasn't too, like... Batman Begins kind of had these twisted, alleys and like, the city, like, was all, like a big disaster zone, and it was just like I kind of liked how this one had a gloomy atmosphere without needing to do that kind of thing, and I did like it how the villain in this movie, at one point in the movie, he just completely just overthrows the entire town. I really like it that's done, and I think the movie gets a lot better once that happens. But I did like it beforehand. The first half of the movie, I can't say I liked as much as the second half. The first half was a lot of, especially the first half an hour. There's a lot of talking, chatter, exposition. It's just like characters like Catwoman and Batman. Well, she's not really Catwoman, but. Yeah, well, she is Catwoman, but nobody refers to her as that. But yeah, him and Batman are just talking they're dancing about things, and a lot of that stuff I really don't care about. And Alfred, really early in the movie, is making big speeches about why he should return to being Batman. Oh yeah. Apparently something's happened between the Dark Knight and this, where Batman has kind of just gone into being a recluse. I really didn't mind that there was stuff that really wasn't mentioned that's happened between the Dark Knight and Hero. It's meant to be 8 years later or something. I really didn't mind that. A lot of people didn't, but I didn't mind how they started off him as a recluse and he has to return to being Batman. I know that it's something that they've done before in superhero movies. I can't really name one right here, but where they try and start the movie where somebody's not whatever this, and they have to return. But when Batman does return, I feel he's been away for quite a while, and I kind of like that. So points for that. But I did really get it. I did really feel the gloom that the town was all feeling when the bad guy, Bane, that's his name, is taking over the town. And there was a twist at the end that I found genuinely pretty cool. But I mean, there is plot problems. There definitely is. The villain's motivations are just kind of vague. I was even thinking that during the movie. I'm wait, so why is the villain doing this? I don't really get it. It is kind of vague. I totally didn't. I really didn't understand it too much. And there's this part where there's only one bridge remaining, and when this guy goes up to these people and he's like, oh, can we get across this bridge? And no, they said don't get it. Go they go across this bridge, the bomb's going to set off, and the cop is trying to explain to them what's actually going on, but they're not letting them across, and it really doesn't make too much sense, to be honest. That bit in particular, but there really wasn't anything in the movie that I got particularly angry about, and I still did feel for Batman and the good guys. I still did want them to win. There's parts where I kind of didn't. I mean, if Gotham actually blew up, I probably wouldn't have minded, really. I don't I would have been pissed off or anything. So but I did want the good guys to win, so I guess the movie works in that way. And I did like want to hear like what kind of like things that they're gonna do to like try and to void the antagonist plan. So I was interested on like how to defeat this guy Bane. Um, but I mean, yeah, there is like he doesn't seem like incredibly intimidating. Like I mean, it's just because I mean, one of the things, example, is that he doesn't really have a real plan, but also because of the fact that he kind of just hangs around and he can easily be shot and um, yeah, he got like trained by this guy, but I mean, apart from the shit that's on his face, like there really isn't anything interesting about this guy. I guess like it would have been too it would have been too unsubtle if he like carried guns around and stuff. I guess so. Whatever, but I don't know. Like this movie probably is just like Batman Begins. It probably won't be very memorable. I didn't really like how this was more like a sequel to Batman Begins rather than the Dark Knight. I really didn't. They didn't. I don't think they even mentioned the Joker once in this movie, to be honest, which is kind of sad. But maybe they were trying to wanted to do something with Heath Ledger, which is kind of sad. But for what it was, I really didn't mind. I kind of liked how they reintroduced the Scarecrow into this movie in a small part. That was pretty cool. But um, it kept my attention definitely. Like, and as though even though there were flaws in this movie, I kind of don't really like to nitpick at movies. And I mean, yeah, I guess like the villain's motivation being vague was a bit of a big thing to think about. But I didn't think overly about that while I was watching the movie. Maybe because I just thought that this guy was a bit psycho and he somehow had an army because of the fact that there's a whole lot of people that just pissed off about because of the fact they're criminals. So. But he wasn't as much of an interesting character, obviously, as the Joker was in the Dark Knight. Catwoman, she was kind of unnecessary, but I still liked her anyway. And yeah, I mean, there was a lot of cliches in this. The whole like this town needs you kind of thing. So I really don't have too much opinions on this movie. Really, it's just it was a good action movie. It had some good action in it. It had a few very nonsensical things in it. I like the villain. I like the doom and gloom that this movie creates, and I liked the ending, even though it was a bit cheesy and a bit like forced. So I really don't have too much to complain about this movie. It really didn't make me angry. It really didn't make me upset. I was on like the edge of my seat a bit in the movie as well, and I did laugh a bit, and so it just really did anything that an action movie I really wanted it to do. A Batman movie, I don't really know because I'm not a huge Batman fan, and that's probably why some people really didn't like this movie more than I did. Obviously, it could have been a lot better, but in my opinion, it could have obviously been a lot worse, and that's a bit of a cliche thing that I like to say. But I really don't have too much objections to this movie, to be honest. Like, it's just like kind of, it's there. I liked that. It was good. And do I want to see it again? Maybe in a few years. Who knows? But I'm gonna give The Dark Knight Rises an 8 out of 10. Because I liked it. I liked it, and this is a terrible review. Just like kind of similar to my I don't know, one of my Prometheus review or something. But it is kind of similar to Prometheus, where I liked it, but I don't really know why I liked it. Like I kind of left my brain a bit at the door in this movie, and I guess like some people, like with a Batman movie, that's not what you should do. But just in any superhero movie, just generally, I just leave my brain at the door. Like the Amazing Spider-Man didn't make too much sense a lot of times either, but I left my brain at the door there, and I really liked it. So, but yeah, this was Batman. It was Batman: The Dark Knight Rises. It was a serious movie. which is good. Serious dark movie, which I liked and I got involved with, I got invested with. And how can I repeat myself more? Probably not anymore. So goodbye.